So if we think about what we've talked about with the roles and leaders, the roles of leaders and followers in drill, one of the things that's really important to also pay attention to is the fact that we experience this idea of being a leader or being a follower in all aspects of our life. There are times where we're in charge. There's times when someone else is in charge. In your daily classroom, you may be in charge of a group project while the teacher's in charge of all of you guys. Or you may be assigned to a group and then they have another person who's a leader. There's always somebody who is going to be in a position as a leader and a follower. And those things do have an impact on our daily life. What kind of things, if you just were to think about it, impact you daily with what you have going on? All right, so let's take a look at some definitions. Now, if you remember the words that we were looking at, the keywords for this unit at the beginning of the part one, choose a word that best matches the definition below. Having no concern for self. Unselfish. A is the correct answer. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. The part of a drill command that states the movement to be carried out and mentally prepares personnel for its execution. Preparatory command is correct. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. An oral order given by a subordinate leader that reinforces and complements a higher order to ensure proper understanding of the execution of a movement. This would be a supplementary command. In the classroom, the example I gave is all the additional information that a leader might give to somebody in order to ensure that it's being executed the way they want it to be executed. In this case, what we're talking about is we're talking about a sergeant, so the guy in charge of the squad says to a team leader, hey, we need to, this is the order. And then the team leader takes that information and gives that to the rest of the team, but adds information to it to ensure that the understanding is done, the understanding is there, and the execution is done correctly. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. The part of a drill command that tells when the movement is to be executed or carried out. That would be the command of execution. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. The lateral space between personnel in a formation measured from right to left with close, double, or normal spacing. I didn't necessarily talk about this one, so I'm going to go ahead and explain it now, and then I'll show you what the answer is. When we fall into formation, we are always wanting to ensure that we have the proper spacing all the way around us. The same thing when we're marching. So, when we go into the command of cover, you're either closing or increasing that gap, front, back, left, right, to ensure that you're in the right place. This is called the interval. So the interval that someone is standing in, if it's done correctly, means that everybody will have been in the same place, in the right place, with the right spacing. Close interval is about half an arm's length away. Double interval would be 2 arm lengths away, and a normal interval would be 1 arm length away. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. A formation in which people or elements are arranged one behind the other. So, think about this as a single file line. Which one do you think it might be? Column is correct. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. The rise and fall in the pitch and in the tone changes of the voice. And that one would be inflection. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. A sound of distinct pitch, loudness, vibration, quality, and or duration. The particular or relative pitch of a word or phrase. And that would be tone. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. The uniform rhythm in which a movement is executed, or the number of steps or counts per minute at which a movement is executed. Cadence. Remember I told you cadence is the rhythm. Everything has a rhythm. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. An immediate, sharp, precise response to a drill command. That would be the snap or the crispness of what you're doing. Choose a word that best matches the definition below. Regular or orderly repetition of sounds or movements, steady, reoccurring with measured regularity. And rhythmic is the answer for that. So again, think back on how your daily life is impacted by the roles of leaders and followers. And then, recognizing the types of commands that we have. We have the two-part commands, we have the combined commands, we have the supplementary commands. How many different commands a day do you receive? And, what kind of commands are there? Not just within the JCC class, but in your other classes as well. That concludes part 3. Next week, we're going to be taking a look at stepping up and taking charge and utilizing leadership skills. So have a fantastic rest of your day.